Hey everyone, Sirturmund here again, and today we're going to continue with a little bit more of a meta deck, and this time it's going to be Nasus Veigar Vaults of Helia, which has been doing really well in the stats right now. It feels like we have kind of go back in time, right? Fist Chimera, Heimerdinger Jayce, Nasus Vaults of Helia. We're in the same meta that we were 3 months ago, and while that kind of sucks, it is good for you to get a refresher on these decks as we go through the Ruthless Rumbles this next few days, and then eventually next weekend also have the next Runeterra open. Now, Nasus Veigar Vaults of Helia has kind of been a prominent part of the meta since the rotation happened earlier this year, and it continues back with a force right here. The idea with Veigar instead of any other champion or Nasus by itself is that Veigar allows us to play the Descent the Ada, and we can get the Descent the Ada for free with the Vaults of Helia and the Rekindler. So that's like a combo there. But for the most part, most of your games are not going to be won with Veigar. They're going to be won with your Nasus and your Vaults of Helia value, just letting your Nasus get so much bigger than the opponent so quickly and be able to resummon Rekindler to actually be able to get your multiple Nasus in the field in even certain situations. So yeah, hope you enjoy the games coming up soon, and if you do, make sure to like the video below and subscribe to us. We post LOR videos every single day. Enjoy the games coming up soon, and I'll see you at the end for some mulligan tips. Enjoy. In this matchup, we're going against Kennen and Jinx. Okay, so this is like it might seem like this might be a good matchup for us, but you'd be surprised about how easily they can just kind of like aggro you down, right? This Vengeance is tempting, and I think I have to keep it to be able to kill like a big Mecha Yoro. Okay, the Veigar helps me out a lot as well, right? So we can go for second back high. This Haste Spike should help me out as well. The Quietus on the wrench is so good, right? I'll take the second for second back high. Because we know that we can Quietus like the returner range and be in a good position, removing their infinite value, right? Otherwise, we'll just go for the Haste Spike eventually. I like the Rockfish Shepherd, gives me a really big blocker. So I like the Rockfish Shepherd because it gives me a big blocker. Yeah, that is not what we expected, right? So that means that the opponent has no returner range. So we can use the Quietus whenever we want to. We can go ahead. We can go ahead and play the Rockbear Shepherd, and that gives me a good block into the Center Urchin. Oh, that's double Electro Harpoon that we just saw, right? So that's double Electro Harpoon that we just saw. Opponent got a little bit unlucky. We don't have the Vaults of Helia, but I don't think it's necessary in this particular matchup, right? Here we'll go Veigar. That gives me a big 5/5, and it also gives me the Darkness as a removal option against the opponent. Squeaker. Okay, so the opponent has 2 Mecha Yoros, right? And that's why I wanted to keep the Vengeance, because the Vengeance lets me at least kill one of them, like right away, before they get value. This Darkness is going to slowly just build up over time. And nothing that the opponent has really pushes any damage on us. Eventually they're gonna have to do something, right? I think we win the war of attrition, especially because eventually we get a Bolts or Nasus. We have multiple ways to get rid of the Jinx. Opponent has 1 unit that was buffed by the Shine that we don't know about yet, right? So they do have 1 unit. Okay, so it was a Trumpeteer, and the Trumpeteer is a little bit annoying because it does make the other units a little bit more powerful. So we can still block, I guess. I guess we can go... So the Haste Spike is not bad. So we can go Darkness. So we can block here, and I guess we can Darkness one of the Squeakers. So we can Darkness one of the Squeakers. It does suck because it means that we use up this Darkness here for no reason. We can block like this. Block like this. Just go like this, I guess, for now. Losing that 5/5 kind of hurts, but that's fine. Opponent has no answer. We still have this Vengeance for the opponent's Jinx eventually. It just sucks that we lose the Darkness, right? So we'll need the Death and the Ada. But I definitely didn't want to take that much damage. Nasus? Well, this changes things now, right? Because now I can just play this Nasus here. It has Overwhelm, Fearsome. If the opponent plays anything that we can kill with Quietus, it's going to be a big deal. And the Nasus is going to reduce the attack of everything, right? So now we're in a position where we're just kind of chilling. And there we go. So now we just Quietus this. That lets the Nasus go to 10, which means that the Nasus will level up after we get the hit through. And we still have Vengeance for next turn if we need to. There is a chance that the opponent can play their Jinx here now, right? But they still also have a Mecha Yodel in their hand that we haven't seen. So they have a Mecha Yodel, they have a Tiny Spear or Tiny Shield, and potentially still have that unit that we have not seen. Opponent's going to just Mystic Shot their own unit. And while that is good and dandy, it's one less burn that we have to worry about for later. Okay. So we can steal Vengeance, by the way, right? So we can steal Vengeance on the stack and be able to block the Mech Hopper with the Nasus and be in a good position. So that was their second. They still have, I'm pretty sure they have a Jinx, right? They still haven't played whatever that unit was with the Shine, which tells me that it is a Jinx and the opponent is waiting until they can level her up before they play her. So here we're just gonna go like this. And even though we don't get the Nasus level up, I think I need to keep this Vengeance to be able to kill a Jinx. So I'm okay with this. If this Veigar dies, it just gives me a way to get a Rekindler value. I'm probably not gonna play the Forsaken Bakai, because then if the opponent does have the Jinx, they will be able to just kill both the Veigar and the Jinx in one shot. Because they need to start blocking, right? They need to start blocking here eventually. This is pushing. We actually have lethal, by the way. If we Vengeance, Nasus goes to 11, so he can kill the blocker.
Just you and me, Fishbones.
Alright. So we're just gonna go like this then. Probably was worth it to have actually Vengeance, right? Alright, so there's your Lightning Rush. You don't get the Jinx value. The problem is that this is lethal. This is lethal on the open because the opponent... Well, I guess it's not lethal because it's going to be 9 and it's going to be 10. So I needed to play the Forsaken Bakai for it to actually be lethal on the open. I will play this Veigar because at this point I want to get the Rekindler. So you have to block this Nasus. Anything you do, I'm going to write a negation. If you don't block the Nasus especially, it's pretty nice. Opponent has a Tiny Spear or Tiny Shield that they haven't shown us. I could have sequenced the last turn better, for sure. I could have sequenced the last turn better, for sure. However, the opponent can get one rocket here, can get another rocket next turn. That's 6. They can play Blowback here, that's 9. Yeah, so they play Blowback. So... How do we do this? We can write a negation and let that Nasus level up. Or we can just resummon Nasus with Rekindler. Opponent still kills this Veigar. Other option is that we can go like this. Let the Veigar die anyways to set up for the Veigar next turn. I like it like this. I think I like this negation here. We save the Nasus. And we let the Veigar come back next turn anyways with the Rekindler, which allows me to kill the Jinx. This attack does nothing anymore. Even though the opponent, once the opponent levels up this Jinx, we can play the Forsaken Bakai. They're gonna hit the rocket. Yeah, I needed to develop this Forsaken Bakai, by the way, last turn. And have opening the lethal, so again, I should have done that better. But the opponent has no way to beat us, because at most they can only get excited plus the rocket this turn, right? So they can get excited plus the rocket this turn, which should be 9 damage, but it's still not enough. None of this really matter. Do any of this really matter? I guess we can play the Rockbear Shepherd. Let's play the Ceaseless Sentry. Just let myself get that extra draw. Guys, if the opponent plays the rocket, I don't mind that extra draw. But again, it's just gonna be Rekindler on the Veigar, and then just go from there. Wait, I don't need to block with Nasus. I can just go like this, right? I mean, sure. We'll go here. We get the Veigar, Sense Darkness, the Jinx dies. You can have Get Excited and Rocket, but that's only doing 6. And you cannot main deck Get Excited, so that means that you cannot get another Get Excited, because Get Excited got rotated. It wasn't Get Excited, so it's just this. The blowback is not enough anymore. I'm gonna throw you my Sentry so that you give me that extra draw. Because why not? We kill the Jinx with the Darkness, and that wins us the game. And that's why I kind of wanted to kill that Veigar last turn with the Rider Negation instead of spending my mana. Just so that I could get that second Darkness to do exactly this time. Again, it was just a matter of time. We had the hand that we needed to do to survive any attack that the opponent threw at us. It was just a matter of time before we got to this point where we got the Nasus or we got the Vaults of Helia to be able to just finish up the game. So, GG's. In this matchup, we're going against Jayce and Kennen. And this matchup is annoying just because the Aftershock, right? So the Aftershock, the Soul Harvest is so good. The Bakai is also not bad. The Aftershock and the Vaults of Helia can be a problem, right? Obviously, they also have Vengeance. The Jayce can get through the Spell Shield, no problem. Etc, etc. We don't need to play Forsaken Bakai anytime soon. Right? We can just play Rockbear Shepherd. Play the Forsaken Bakai later on. Increase our odds of drawing our Vaults of Helia. Double Nasus is not bad. I need to be careful not to draw the third Nasus, so that could be a problem. So drawing the third Nasus could be a problem. Opponent just passes. Uses up their mana. Guess let's just attack for 1. Quietus, okay. There's the bolts. We'll be able to get the Heimerdinger Rockbear, right? Opponent can easily have Aftershock, right? So we're kind of saying that the opponent's gonna have Aftershock. We can kill the first Heimer with the Soul Harvest. So now you really need this Aftershock then, right? Like if you don't have the Aftershock, then you kind of start losing the game with this Vaults of Helia. Alright, there we go. Like we know that the opponent was gonna have Aftershock. There's no problem with that. We're just gonna push damage this way. Push that 7 damage down. Play a second Rockbear Shepherd. Eventually draw our second Vaults of Helia. And be in a good position. Sure. Yeah, we don't want to play that Nasus, right? Now with 3 HP, it's so easy to lose to an Aftershock. Or anything like that. Double Headstick Handler is going to be a problem, but we can kill the Heimers, so that's not horrible for us. Yeah, so we can go like this. Let's get our Nasus a little bit bigger, I guess. That's fine. I don't want any of this right now, so I'm going to skip. I'm not opposed to skipping right there. Still have that Soul Harvest available to be able to kill the opponent's cards. Let's go Ceaseless Sentry. I want to attack with the Ceaseless Sentry, so that's why I don't mind playing it. Okay, so cool. So now we can just go Haste Spike here, prevent the heal, and potentially get a keyword that gets me let my Nasus just switch phase. So quick attack, that's not bad. So now we just go here. Now you have to remember this Nasus. You tapped out of Vengeance. They could have Heimer here. The funny thing is that if they block with the Heimer, it will put them in range of Quietus. Okay, so that's not a Heimer. I'm gonna attack with everything. Because the opponent's gonna have to block here. And this gets me to 8. We have the Siphoning Strike, right?
Tomorrow has never
Opponent can kill this Nasus very easily now that they have the Jayce. We don't have removal for the Jayce. They have 9 mana, so they could have like a Vengeance. But if they kill the Nasus, we just play Rekindler. Okay. So you kill Nasus, I play Rekindler, and now you have another set of things you need to watch out for. So Harvest, alright. I don't want to play the Siphoning Strike, right? Because the opponent can easily just punish that with a Vengeance after. So there's no reason for us to do that. If opponent is smart, you just pass here. Like, obviously I have something that I can play after you kill this Nasus. So like, you just want to pass and just chill. So we'll attack with everything.
Step aside.
You get your Vengeance, right? So you get your Vengeance. That's cool. We'll go ahead and play the Rekindler. Let you have your second Vengeance, right? I just want to have that.
The sweet smell of science.
Okay, so if we go Rekindler,
Burning workshops.
we can go Rekindler and play the Siphoning Strike, but I think it's actually correct for us to just kill the Heimer. I think the Heimer is just putting too much pressure on us. Right? We'll go Rekindler anyways. And again, do the same thing with the last turn, where if the opponent doesn't want to play the Vengeance yet, that's fine. A second Heimer could be annoying. A second Heimer could actually be pretty annoying here. And of course, it's exactly what they have, right? It's exactly what they have, and they still have exactly 7 mana. What if... I think this Quicksand is just too good, right? What if we Haste Spike and then Quietus the Heimer, right? Get the draw here, get the Heimer to position. If the opponent plays a Mystic Shot to counter this, we get to kill the Heimer anyways. We Quietus the Heimer. We get another Nasus here, right? Opponent goes for Shock Blast. Whoa! Okay, I did not expect that. So I think I'm fine, right? Because look at what we can do here. Well, I guess I'm not fine per se, but I can get this Nasus leveled up. The problem is gonna be... So the problem is gonna be these elusives, right? And also the freaking Jayce. Like, ideally, we probably want to kill Jayce over the elusives. So, like, if we go like this, we can just kill the Jayce. That way we don't have to worry about the spell shield later. About the opponent being able to pop the spell shield. We can Quicksand to kill one of the elusives. So we can Quicksand to kill one of the elusives. But then the second elusive still hitting us in the face. So that kind of sucks. So we can Quicksand, kill one of these elusives, but we're not able to attack into their second elusive. Alright, so we're kind of like in an impasse right now, where if we attack into the elusive, we're kind of in a bad spot, in a bad position. We can Veigar. We have a third Soul Harvest. Opponent gets their own Soul Harvest, alright. If I attack here, it's too easy for the opponent to have an answer. So I'm gonna take another 7, and then what? I guess I can stop stuff without a negation. Yeah, I take another 7, and then the opponent just needs to have the burn. This sucks. This sucks, right? No way to kind of get our Nasus reset.
Shut up when I can.
Let's go here. I mean, I guess that helps me get my Nasus bigger so that we can actually kill the Flow Be Gone. I'm okay with this. Because the opponent's gonna have to block. Okay, so now you have a vengeance then. If I don't get another unit. So with Rider Negation backup, this should be okay. Oh man, that would have been so good when the opponent had both elusives, right? So when the opponent had both elusives, that would have been so good for us. It would have killed both. The Vengeance, opponent still has a card that they got from Financier that we haven't seen. They have to have a fearsome blocker here. And it's gonna be Jayce. We can attack into the Jayce and at least eat up that Jayce. That's not horrible. And we're still in a position where if we don't if the opponent top decks the right card and we don't top deck the right card, they still win. I think you have the right card. This is telling me that it's gonna be a production search, yeah. So this is telling me production search 100%. We're able to block here, block here. We go down to 2. Going down to 2 doesn't seem really great to me. So let's just go ahead and kill this one. So let's kill this one. I'm fine going down to 4, but going down to 3 I think it's a little bit too much. We can kill this T-Hats. We have no choice. And then we can darkness, I guess, the Apex turret. We're gonna start like this. We're gonna start like this. I'm gonna leave my Nasus for last, so that the opponent doesn't know what we have. If they have exactly a Jayce into Vengeance, that's when it gets scary. Otherwise, we're chilling. Acceleration. I think I'm fine pushing this 3 damage. Even if it means that the opponent blocks here. Because, I mean, opponent still has a hard time dealing with this Nasus. And he sets it up for my next Veigar attack to finish the game. This is such a weird game. But we kind of have gotten our champions and opponent hasn't gotten theirs. So that kind of feels bad. Yeah, that kind of feels bad for them, right? Because we can just go like this. And now next time we have 2 attackers. And opponent has no blockers. I guess they could have the Vengeance to deal with the Veigar. They can have the Vengeance to deal with the Veigar, but that still leaves the Nasus on the field. I'm gonna keep this Vengeance to be able to deal with their Heimer or whatever else. They need to have a Vengeance to deal with this Veigar. Heads Blitzer. Okay, they popped the spell shield, so if they get a Vengeance, they kill the Nasus. I guess I should have just Vengeance to start with, and force the opponent to not have another blocker. And that's game, right? That is game. Just because the Rekindle just gives me quite a bit of oomph here. Because we have 3 attackers, opponent has no blockers, because we can Quietus the thing. Yeah, so even if the opponent top deck a Vengeance or a Ruination from this, I guess if they have Ruination from the Financier and then top deck a Vengeance, they can kill the second Nasus as well as kill the rest of my board. But GG's. In this matchup, we're going against Swain Illaoi. My Vengeances and other form of removal kind of makes this matchup really good for us, right? Let's start mulligan for the bolts. I think, yeah, there we go, perfect. I'm going to have minded keeping the Forsaken Bakai, but I think it's not necessary, right? Let's just go for the bolts and kind of get the game plan there. This is amazing to be able to deal with the Overwhelm Illaoi eventually. Now, the opponent wins here by just making their tentacles so big before we can get the bolts value, right? So if they can do that, they should be in a good position. We're going to play the Forsaken Bakai so that we have some blockers. I like the Nasus, because once we have another Nasus in the field, it turns into the Siphoning Strike, and the Siphoning Strike is very good. One wants to parley, that's fine. I'll let them parley. What we want to do here, if the opponent open attacks, we want to Quietus, right? So we want to Quietus the Tentacle. They didn't open attack. I still think it's correct to Quietus this Tentacle. Play Shepherd. If we get Soul Harvest, it's so good against Illaoi too, by the way. This at least protects some of the damage that we take. We go Rockbase Shepherd, and then we go Vaults of Helia. Now, the opponent could have Tentacle Smash. We will allow them to kill the Rockbase Shepherd. And that would suck. And that's the Soul Harvest for the Illaoi. So what if we pass? What if we pass and just have Soul Harvest for the Illaoi? If the opponent plays Tentacle Smash here, I think I'm fine. They still have access to it. They didn't play Illaoi though. Here's the Oh, Scorched Herb. Okay. That's good. That's good for them. But I mean, I still have Nasus. And I still have Soul Harvest. And I have Rekindler later. It just slows us down a lot, right? So it slows us down a lot. So this slows us down like a lot. We go down to 8. We have blockers here. We can play Nasus next turn. We have Quicksand, so I'm not concerned about the tentacles. Swain. That's an easy Soul Harvest that you just gave me. Yep, I mean, you emoted me, I'm gonna emote you too, my friend. We can play Nasus, and again, just settle for the Siphoning Strike to just be the way that we win. The Vengeance for the Leviathan is gonna be so good. Opponent just uses Scorched Earth, so I think I'm less likely to worry about this. I guess if they have Disintegrate, Reptile Sermon, alright. I'm okay with this. I mean, we still have plenty of good blockers. And we can always just Vengeance that Tentacle if we need to as well. I'm not opposed to that. But overall, we have the Rekindler, right? So overall, we have the Rekindler. So this is fine with us. So like, if we Vengeance this, right? So the problem here is that if we Vengeance this right now, if we Vengeance this unit right now, opponent can play Leviathan, and then I have a harder time dealing with the Leviathan, right? I have a much harder... I guess if we Vengeance anything else, this Nasus is just gonna die. If we silence it first... So if we go like this... We don't take the overwhelm damage, we just kill it, get the Nasus bigger to be able to deal with the idol later, and we kill the overwhelm stuff, right? We still have the way here to deal with the Leviathan. And there it is. So now we just go like that. Siphoning Strike. So let's bye-bye Leviathan. We still have Soul Harvest. Their Swain is leveled up, so the Soul Harvest doesn't kill that Swain anymore. The problem is that the Tentacle is still able to kill my Nasus, right? Wow. What if we just attack here? What if we just attack here and let the opponent block? If that Tentacle goes down to 0, I think I'm cool with this. Right? We have enough to play Vengeance and Bolts. So even if the opponent plays the Swain, we get another Nasus here. So we get another Nasus here. I don't even need to Vengeance. I don't think I even need to Vengeance that Swain, by the way. Like, I don't think I care about this Swain at all. Like, you're gonna... I guess the opponent could have the stun. Because I'm kind of more scared of the Leviathan, right? I'm more scared of the Levi than I am of the Swain. We can kill this Watchful Idol right now. And I think that's fine. And then next turn we'll have the Vengeance. I guess opponent could have a block here. Oh yeah, they have the second Swain. That's one reason why I should have just Vengeance that Swain, right? Because now I don't get this value here. It's fine. We just Vengeance the Swain anyways. Opponent can go ahead. I did forget about them having the third Swain, right? We kill one Swain. Opponent still managed to have another Swain on top of it. So it doesn't even matter. We just Vengeance here. We can also play Rekindler. Doesn't matter. Yeah, we just Vengeance this. If opponent has a second Leviathan as well on top of it, then I'm kind of just in a bad position. Let's go Ceaseless Sentry. Okay, that's not a second Leviathan at least. And that was their third Swain, with the other Swain being on their deck. We get a draw here from this guy. We get a Rockbreath Shepherd, which is gonna summon, like this is gonna get enabled so quickly here, right? So it's gonna give us a blocker. Opponent has no fearsome blockers here, so they're gonna have to have stun. And this is just game then, right? Because we just go like this. Opponent has no fearsome blockers and we're chilling. So this gets the Nasus to 15. And unless the opponent also has a Disintegrate, then we're okay. So unless the opponent also has a Disintegrate, then we're fine. They have no fearsome blocker. The Nasus attacks for 16. And that's game. The only thing that I could say that I probably messed up on here was that Swain, right? But even if I Vengeance the Swain right away, the opponent's still able to use that flock. But they probably have been less likely to use that flock if I did Vengeance. I guess we can also just pass, right? And then just don't even play the Soul Harvest. And once the opponent committed the flock, we just Vengeance the Swain. I think it still ended up working out. We stopped them from getting that extra tentacle, which ends up actually kind of saving us here because it leaves them with no fearsome blockers. So GG's. In this matchup, we're going against Sundance. Ooh, sometimes they play Desert Naturalists, right? So that could be a little bit annoying. Ooh, I think this hand is too not enough, right? The other hand just wasn't it. I have a lot of removal, but I don't think I need a lot of removal for followers against this deck. This looks so much better, right? So this looks so much better. I'm gonna just play everything on curve. I'm down to pick a second Nasus. I like the Siphoning Strike. I like the Siphoning Strike a lot. So I'm down to pick the second Nasus. He also kind of protects the Nasus a little bit. We can attack here. Play the Ceaseless Sentry when the opponent plays the Rock Hopper. And then play Shepherd, then play Vaults of Helia, and then just chill. So, yep, Ceaseless Sentry. Okay, so this is telling me that this is going to be a Bastaya, right? So this is going to be a Bastaya. If that's going to be a Bastaya, that's fine. We'll just attack with both. I guess the only thing that stops is the Siphoning Strike. But the problem with the Bastaya is that the Quietus makes her really vulnerable. The Benji Bastaya means it still loses to the Quietus because it's going to force out the removal, right? So we just go Vaults of Helia. I guess, again, I still need to watch out for Desert Naturalist. So I guess if the opponent finds the Desert Naturalist here, so that should be, like, if the opponent passes here, okay, that's not a pass. We go Vaults of Helia. This is just going to make my Nasus bigger if the opponent actually attacks with any of their units. Because I can eat up the Sand Soldier. We can Soul Harvest the Azir. First, we're going to Quietus the bush, right? So first, we're going to Quietus the bush to eat up the removal. Yeah, so we go like this. This guy's going to die anyways. I don't mind keeping the Ceaseless Sentry as a blocker. It fits my Nasus. This guy will die. Gets me a 4-drop, which is Veigar. We go Quietus, right? So we go Quietus on this bush. Opponent's gonna play the Avenging Bastaya, spending 3 mana, and then we Soul Harvest the Azir. Unless the opponent has a second Bastaya, then this should be okay. Yeah, so there you go. They go for that. Cool. We gotta get the Nasus next turn. Unfortunately, that came a little bit too late, so now we just kill the Azir. That's your only Azir. Either they're playing 2-2-2 or that's the only Azir that we just killed. Either way, I'm not complaining. Now, their next champion will get Spell Shield, but now we have a Nasus and we have a Veigar Darkness that's slowly going up, right? We have a Veigar Darkness that's slowly going up. This Nasus is going to put a lot of pressure. So the opponent gets some access here. We could go Paging Bakai. So we could go Rampaging Bakai, or we can just go Darkness to just set this up to die to... How do we do this? How do we do this? I think I'm down to go here. Right, get rid of the spell shield now. This is gonna bring back Rekindler. Oh, it's Sauce. Okay, so you're gonna kill this guy. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough to be able to remove the spell shield because none of this can hit the Nasus. So I didn't have enough to be able to remove the spell shield as well as using the Siphoning Strike. So I think that's fine. Now we have the Vengeance though, so that's pretty nice. We can go here to start with and then go for a Siphoning Strike or a Vengeance if we need to. I didn't want to give the opponent more Nasus triggers. I think we're in a good spot, right? Next time we have the Descendeada. We have the Siphoning Strike. I guess we could have let the Rekindler die, and that would have given us another Rekindler. But there's no reason for us to do that. We shouldn't be in a bad position. We killed our Seer. Assuming that was not their only Azir, they still have to wait to draw the second one. We're about to kill their Nasus, and the Renekton is not even a problem once we have the Nasus leveled up. The Exhaust is cute, but the Exhaust is just nicer when you actually have Nasus. When you actually have the Nasus or the Renekton about to level up, right? They killed a Veigar for no reason there. I mean, there is a reason. It stops the darkness from increasing, so it makes the Descendeada worse, but not a big deal. They do get Emperor's Deck card, so I need to watch out for that. Okay. It probably was correct, by the way, to go Quietus, right? So it probably would have been correct for us to go Quietus. I guess we don't need to anymore. We don't need to anymore. We could go here. So I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna go like this. Just remove the spell shield. I want to bait the opponent into thinking like, oh, he just tapped out of Vengeance. He doesn't have any way to kind of kill whatever I summon next, right? And then we hit them with the Siphoning Strike. Oh, that's not fun. That is not fun. Let's get this out of the way now. Let's get this out of the way now. Yep. Oh, it's an all-terrain bush. It's not even the Bastaya. Wow, it still kills it though. That's a good bait. I thought that was gonna be the Avenging Bastaya. That's a good bait. So you get to kill the thing here, but I'm gonna play Vengeance, eat up your first Battle Negation, and then play the Siphoning Strike to level up the Nasus, right? So even if you drag this here, we can just Vengeance. The Vaults of Helia does nothing anymore.
First blood.
You're not even gonna go after... It has to be a Battle Negation that they're holding on to. Like, otherwise it makes no sense to protect this Nasus the way that they're doing it. Let's go like this and eat up that first Battle Negation. It wasn't a Battle Negation, apparently. Huh. So now we can just Darkness. We know we're gonna get Rekindler here, so it doesn't matter that this Nasus dies. And whatever you summon is just gonna get smacked.
Look at this place.
Like, I guess the only downside here is that I'm not leveling up this Nasus. Unless I play Siphoning Strike right now. Let's go like this. This is gonna let us commit lethal. Opponent's gonna have to have a Battle Negation, which they showed us not to have this turn. So this is gonna let me commit lethal because we're gonna get the leveled up Nasus, which is gonna bring a Rekindler. Opponent has no blockers, they have Spell Shield, and that will be the game. So, GG's. In this matchup, we're going against the Mirror, but the opponent's playing a Seer, so that means that they're probably playing the Emperor spell thing, right? We have the Bolts. I actually don't mind keeping the second Nasus in my hand. So I don't mind keeping the second Nasus in my hand, because I think I like the Siphoning Strike. Oh! Okay, so we got a deck card in our hand. That kind of sucks. Yeah, I don't mind having the Siphoning Strike for us to kind of get value. Let's go back Kai right now in case that we get the Shepherd. We do have the Shepherd. It's probably better to play for the Shepherd. That way we don't actually lose the Veigar, right? Don't know that I need to attack into this just yet. I like the Shepherd into Vaults of Helia, into potentially Heimer. I guess we'll trade. I guess we'll trade just so that our Nasus is now weaker than theirs. Opponent could have like a Soul Harvest here, but I think that's fine if they do. Regardless, this is gonna trigger before anything else. We can go like this, just attack for 1. The Rider Negation is gonna be really nice as well. We could go Vaults of Helia here and just get that first Veigar. Sure. Let's get that first Veigar down. Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. What I could have done is I could have summoned the Veigar first, knowing that the opponent probably had a way to kill my thing. Yeah, I guess that would have been better. The Soul Harvest is going to be really good against their Veigar. Because now I don't want to, like, I kind of don't want to play this Veigar. I guess we can play it, because this is going to die. This is going to trigger, right? So the Veigar's going to stay on the field. I'm down to keep the Veigar here. Opponent doesn't play the Soul Harvest. We get some value here. Get a nice Nasus. Again, it is a baby Nasus. It is a baby Nasus. But he's still pushing 5 damage of Fearsome that the opponent is not able to block. So he's better than nothing. So he's still pushing. Actually, I'll probably attack with Veigar as well, because I don't care if the opponent blocks with the Sentry. Opponent goes for Rider Negation. I think I'm okay playing the first one here. I'm okay playing this first one here. Just get that Rekindler out, right? So just get the value by getting Rekindler out. First Vengeance. The first Vengeance goes bye-bye. I still think this Siphoning Strike is better off later. What I'm thinking is killing this Sentry, but I also kind of like the Darkness. I am giving them a lot of value by letting this Sentry stay on the field. Let's let it go. Let's let it go for now. Because opponent gets both the car, the Shepherd, and also gets the trigger, right? We have another Rekindler now, right? So the Nasus is going to stay on the field, so that's really good for us. This Casticate is not bad. I wanted to get this Darkness bigger and bigger, because potentially this Darkness could be enough to help me kill something big. So that's why I didn't mind that we kind of like... I guess we're going to get a Darkness next turn, right? We are going to get a Darkness next turn with the Descent the Adder. So let's just do this one. Like, still leaves me with the Rider Negation. We get the Descent the Adder here, which will allow me to level up this Veigar, potentially. Seer. So we can Soul Harvest this Azir. Don't want it to level up. Next turn we have the Descent the Adder. We're pushing a bunch of damage here anyways, and this Nasus is gonna potentially level up. So I'm okay attacking like this. We can also play a second Rekindler, but I don't like the fact that it taps me out of Rider Negation. So I think I'm down to just level up this Nasus first. If opponent doesn't play anything, then that's fine. I don't mind holding this back. Opponent plays the second Rider Negation, the second Vengeance, sorry. Now they could have their own Rider Negation here, which could be problematic. I'm gonna go here. So I'm gonna kill this Descent the Adder so that my Vaults of Helia, I'm still getting value from it. Opponent can have their own Rider Negation, but then it makes it easier for me to kill their stuff later. So this allows me to actually get the value from like a second Rekindler here, right? So we can have a second Rekindler coming down. We can actually Soul Harvest. We can actually Soul Harvest this little dude right here. And the opponent is not going to get the Bolts trigger because these guys happen after the Bolts of Helia. So this lets me keep the darkness. The Nasus dies, summons the third Rekindler. And opponent stuck with 5/5s that we can kill. The problem here is that you're still in a bad position because now I still kill your Bakai. I still killed your Bakai with the darkness because you took one by attacking the Veigar. And you still don't get your value from the bolts, right? So you just get a bunch of grumpy rock bears. And next turn we get another Descent Ada, right? From the Rekindler dying. Allow me to just kill their whole board. And level up the Veigar. Which is gonna be not bad at all. If the opponent has shown us that they don't have Rana Negation, because I feel like if they have Rana Negation, they would have done it earlier. So we can just go here, I guess. Just play that second Nasus. I don't hate this. The Rekindler dies. Rekindler dies. We have two Nasuses. We have a big Veigar that's going to push a ton of damage. Like this Descent Ada, I think it's like at 6 right now, right? So after this turn, it's going to be at 6. Allows me to kill the whole board. Unless the opponent got the Rana Negation, I guess. If they have the Rana Negation, then it's very easy for me to just go for the Siphoning Strike. And kind of go from there. Yeah, so opponent loses the Nasus. They get the Rekindler. We go here. Clear their whole board. Veigar levels up, which means that if this Veigar stays alive, next turn we just win anyways. So if this Veigar stays alive, next turn we're winning anyways. We have the Siphoning Strike and we have everything else that we need. So that Rana Negation on that Descent Ada 2 turns ago enabled this turn to happen. That's why you should be okay, like letting your Adas get sacrificed so that you can get your Vaults of Helia working again. So hey, welcome back everyone. Hope you enjoyed today's games of Nasus Veigar Vaults of Helia. The deck is pretty straightforward, so I don't think there's a lot really that we need to spend time on here. Some card choices are a little bit different than what people are kind of used to, but I think it kind of makes sense, right? Like Castigate, I think is probably the one that's like really different here than what you see in a lot of lists. And I like the Castigate to kind of deal with stuff like that, kind of some of the decks that like to go wide, right? So especially some aggressive decks, it could allow me to potentially be able to win in such a situation. It's also nice against Heimerdinger Jayce if they go up for like a big production surge and just try to kill you with like a bunch of elusive turrets. You're able to play Castigate and be able to kill all the turrets at once. So it's really nice, and you can even use it in certain situations to kill your own board if you wanted to be able to get more value from the Vaults of Helia. Again, I know we saw a game today where killing my Descent and my Ada allowed me to set myself up to be able to get another Descent Ada later into the game, and that's kind of what you want to look for sometimes. Like, hey, does it make sense to kill my Descent and my Ada so that I can kind of reset the Vaults of Helia and kind of start from 5 or from 6 again, right? So you just gotta keep that in mind. That's kind of why I like the Castigate. Everything else is straightforward. Vengeance to be able to deal with any champion or anything that kind of worries you, like we saw against Leviathan or Swains. Rana Negation to protect ourselves for a lethal attack. Quicksand, really nice for the elusives that are running around right now, especially useful against Fizz. Soul Harvest is still good against Heimer and even Samira and certain other champions. Haste Spike, so good as well. It kind of works as 2 towards your Nasus. And again, it's another way to kind of like Castigate to be able to sacrifice something like this and the Ada if you want to reset the counter on it. And Quietos is really nice to both get rid of equipment, like if we have to deal with like a Jinx Kennen and we want to get rid of the wrench, we can do that, or we can just use it to kind of kill some of the opponent's units. Obviously, the key card of this deck is Vaults of Helia. You want to be able to harm Mulligan for Vaults of Helia more often than not, because that kind of lets you set up your value train and be able to kind of get a lot of your value for free between the Nasus, the Rekindler, and the Descent Ada. So every time, get the Vaults of Helia if you can. Our champions of choice are pretty straightforward. Nasus just loves the Vaults of Helia, and Veigar is not bad because of the Descent Ada combo like we talked about in the beginning of the video, right? Having that darkness as an extra removal is not bad, and if you get that darkness to at least 5 damage, it means that when that Descent Ada comes down, it's going to completely wreck the opponent's board, as you saw in today's mirror against the Nasus Veigar Azir player. Then on our unit, straightforward, Forsaken Bakai increases our chances of drawing that Vaults of Helia when we need it. Ceaseless Sentry, just extra draw. The Shepherd is really good as well because the unit that gets summoned from the Shepherd is a 5-cost unit, so it will get killed by the Vaults of Helia to be able to get us our Nasus. Rampaging Bakai is another 5-drop in case that we don't get that rock bear, right? So if we don't get that rock bear, at least we have the Rampaging Bakai as a 5-drop that can continue the chain for the Vaults of Helia. And then Rekindler and Desanata are the ways that we can kind of finish up games. Rekindler giving us our Nasus back, as well as potentially allowing us to have 2 Nasus in the field if you have another Rekindler in your hand. And then the Desanata, like I said, can clear the opponent's board, especially when you have Veigar stick for a couple turns. The general strategy is just play the Vaults of Helia and eventually just whittle the opponent down because of the fearsome from Nasus, and Nasus just leveling up, and all the other pressure that you can put with the rest of your units as once that Nasus gets leveled up. Aside from that, I mean, again, mulligan for Vaults of Helia. If you already have the Vaults of Helia in your hand, then I'm looking for the Rockbeard Shepherd. I don't mind keeping the Nasus a lot of times. I think having that Siphoning Strike can be really useful. And sometimes if the opponent is able to kill Nasus when he comes down for free from the Vaults of Helia, you're able to just replay a second Nasus right away in turn 6 and kind of be like, now what? You have double vengeance, so double removal. So that's kind of what you want sometimes, just have multiple of your champions that you can play, whether it's Rekindler or your Nasus. And then Veigar also doesn't hurt if you really have the Vaults of Helia, because he can at least let you start working on getting that darkness enabled for when you actually have Desanata on the field. So that'll be it for me today. This is a pre-meta deck, so you know, if you haven't played it yet or haven't played against it, you must be living under a rock. So hopefully I was able to teach you a thing or two here and you're able to climb on ladders. So hope you enjoyed today's games. If you did, make sure to like the video below and subscribe to us. We post LOR videos every single day. You can also find us on Twitch at Twitch channel, we stream every now and then, and you can also find us on Discord and Twitter. The links to those are both in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.